One of the questions that I get repeatedly asked in discussion with practice owners of independent veterinary practices is, why do I not get DVMs applying to my practice? And I'm going to tell you today the number one reason why that occurs. Hi, I'm Dr. Joel Parker with the Standing Ovation Practice. We're going to talk today about finding DVMs for your practice and the number one reason why you're not showing up on the radar and getting applicants. Let's dive into this. It's a different world today. Let's face it. Veterinarians are graduating like we did before. They're being placed in practices, but today there is a large corporate pressure and a large corporate presence in the veterinary colleges, so many graduates will choose to go work in corporate practice. The interesting thing is that it's almost for a sense of security. And there are corporation practices like Banfield owned by Mars, which are actually reasonably organized and is actually a reasonably good place for a new graduate to go and get their sea legs as a general practitioner before they dive into maybe practice ownership. But the number one reason why you don't show up and get applicants for your practice is because your public relations is out within the veterinary community. Public relations has to do what an external audience thinks about your practice. Now, in the typical, world, that would be, what do the clients of pets think about your practice? Or what do the dairy farmers in your area think about your practice? And importantly, do they think positively of you? Do they think negatively of you? Or do they not think anything at all? And my experience is that if you're not getting enough applicants of good DVMs in your practice, it's the third one that they just don't know anything about your practice. Imagine that. And you may have been there for 20 or 30 years, but you are not showing up on the radar as a practice to work at. And so it's an interesting issue. If you look at the typical lineup that goes from public relations to marketing and sales, the way that works is that you need good public relations that, let's say, veterinarians know about your practice, and that so that when you market to that database of associate veterinarians within your state, they already know a little bit about you, they think positively of you, and then when they apply for you, there is a sales cycle that goes on to hire them in your practice. Believe it or not, the whole function of sales is to create flows and movements. And the word sale comes from the word sell, which comes from the Old English term sellan, S-E-L-L-A-N, which means to give or help. And that's really what you're doing. When you've got a veterinarian applicant in front of you, you're trying to sell them, you're trying to help them make a decision to come to your practice. Now, if they already think highly of you because your PR is in and they got some great marketing materials that show you and your staff and everybody's having a good time, you've got lots of great equipment, and you're ticking off the 5 needs and wants of associate doctors, then the chances are they're going to pick up the phone. Sidebar, the 5 needs and wants of associate doctors are is that they want good quality medicine, they want good mentorship, they want it to be fun, they want to have good equipment, and here's the 6th one, they want good work-life balance. And so if your marketing materials show that the associate doctors have got all those things, you start increasing the chances of somebody applying to your practice. Now, we know this, that 80% of new graduates will change practices within the first 2 or 3 years. So if you want to start communicating how your practice is, all the great equipment, the mentorship programs and so forth, then in my mind, you should be communicating not only to new graduates, but that by the chances are they've already made a decision to work with corporate, but you should be, communicating to those associate doctors within corporate establishments about your beautiful, alive, and quality independent practice that's delivering a standing ovation practice performance. You should be communicating those performances, those success stories and all that, those YouTube channels, those Facebook, Instagram posts and so forth. You should be communicating all of those good works back to those associate doctors working at other corporate practices within your state. So you can imagine. So the challenge is, how do you attract them? And that's when you get into, Facebook Meta advertising and Google advertising for associate doctors to like your social media channels and to like your YouTube channel, like the one you're watching right now. So bottom line is, every practice should have a YouTube channel. There should be somebody in your practice that likes shooting YouTube videos like I do. You need a good production team, like I use Gravity Media here in Clearwater, Florida. You need teams like that can go and process your videos and make them look good, put a little jingle at the front of it, things like that. But the bottom line is, attracting good DVM starts with good public relations, people, associate doctors within your state knowing about your practice, seeing all those good results, so that when they get to that point in that 2 to 3 year period in the corporate practice, when they're just slightly unhappy, they're maybe not yet an active applicant, which means they've quit and they're pounding the pavement trying to find a job. They're more what's called a passive applicant. They see your good works. I will tell you, this is so important, because a doctor working in a corporate practice may be a little bit unhappy, but they don't want to jump from the frying pan into the fire. They want to go to a great A-level practice. Okay, they don't want to go to a B or C level practice. So one of the other things you can do is get your AHA accreditation. I'm a big fan of the AHA accreditation process, and not for new clients. I went through that. I have only myself ever personally worked or ever bought and sold AHA accredited practices. That's just kind of the way I am. I like those standards to be there. But what I quickly gave up on is that clients would understand what that was. They don't. They can appreciate you're trying. They kind of maybe get a little bit of what that is. But who does understand what your AHA accreditation is none other than associate doctors and licensed vet techs that may be working for somebody else. So this begs the question, is this, pilfering? Is this stealing, associate doctors from other practices? I guess there's different ways to look at it. In a sense, it is. But if you are a better practice, and if you have gone from a great practice or a good practice to a great practice, you're AHA accredited, you're fear-free accredited, you've got great equipment, mentoring programs, you pay well, everything is attractive, you've got great social media, why should you not win in your practice and attract good people? So there's an opportunity in that group of DVMs 2 to 3 years out, as they go through that process of looking to change your practice, that they will see all of your social media posts and go, I got to check those guys out. And they'll go online, they look at all the reviews, they look at the reviews that you as a practice owner have personally responded to. They see all that kind of good, warm and fuzzy stuff and realize that, yeah, this is a real practice. This isn't just, upsell practice for every single medication they can offer. This is a practice that truly cares and wants to deliver that kind of perfect lifestyle medicine for the patient in front of them. What do I mean by lifestyle medicine? I mean that, the 18-year-old cat doesn't need vaccinations because it doesn't go out. But what it does need is blood work for thyroid and kidney function, and a cardiac echogram done every year for that function, versus a young outdoor cat would need vaccines. So what I mean by lifestyle medicine, it means it's selling what is right. It's offering and selling what is right for the patient in front of you. Okay, so that's all I got for you today. But to kind of wrap it up, if you want to be a practice that attracts a lot of good people to it, you first of all got to be a great practice. And that's kind of a personal decision to make, that you gather your staff around, you rally around a good written purpose for the practice, and you become that great practice. The second step is to get your social media machine working so that people out there know that you're great and you're showing great pictures and great success stories, so that when somebody goes to snoop you, they can bump into those and go, that's a great looking practice. Thirdly, then get some good marketing material out and send it to that list of associate doctors. That's a challenge to get together, but there's lots of ways you can increase and build lists of associate doctors through LinkedIn and other ways of doing it. And then finally, when you get a good applicant, come and have them visit the practice. And there's a couple other online platforms that are coming up now available, whereby you can get a video shot of your practice and the associate doctor can go and check you out. The bottom line is, you need to promote that you are a great practice. And before you know it, you're going to start getting people submitting resumes and saying, listen, I've heard great things about your practice. Final tip for that is to go to your association veterinary meetings and have a little banner and booth up talking about your practice, and start collecting names and addresses by scanning their ticket or getting them to fill out on an iPad for a draw their name and phone number and email address. Okay, great things can be done with databases. Okay, guys, that's that's all I got for you today. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for watching. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications and tell your friends. And thanks for watching today, and I will see you next time. That's all I got for you. Thanks for watching.